is Wednesday again. This is the Wednesday weekly learning session for local bartending school. It is for Wednesday, I believe it's July 13th today, 2022. Been off the last couple weeks because I had a knee replacement. Doing good though now, standing up back behind the bar, feeling good. So we're back at it Wednesday again. It's summertime. I want to talk about some summertime cocktail ideas, but I wanted to mention a couple things first. If nobody has any questions, which I don't think anybody does. No, sorry, big myself. So first thing, Tales of the Cocktail. Annual Convention of Bartenders and Spirit Industry Professionals is coming at the end of the month. It is July 25th to 29th. It is the 20th anniversary of Tales of the Cocktail Convention. They do have it for the first time in 2 years, live in New Orleans, Louisiana. Again, I think most of it's sold out anyway. So, last second trip to New Orleans, if you could make it. But if not, they do have a virtual platform, which the last 2 years has been free. And unfortunately, I found out today they are charging $15 for the virtual platform this year. I do think it is well worth $15 easily. It is a great chance to, kind of commune with other spirit industry professionals and get great ideas and great advice and great information. And I can't, I've done the last 2 years and I've walked away with tons of knowledge like this. This is a great thing. I've picked up tons of knowledge just by, experiencing being a part of it. So I will definitely throw down the $15 and be in there on the platform. And you are welcome to find me and say hi if you'd like to on the platform when they start that. So that's coming up at the end of the month. But what I wanted to talk about a little bit just today is kind of just on the, on the job conduct for behind the bar. And this is a little bit about, kind of on the job do's and don'ts. And I think one of the biggest things to remember is that this is a customer service job, and we are there to take care of people. We're there to serve people. We're there to, get people whatever they want. And we have to remember that. That is part of our job duties. That is what we're here for. Nobody's putting us out by asking us for something. And, when you work on larger properties, what they found is that people have some trepidation about approaching employees because they think just that they're going to put the employees out, they're going to disturb the employees, they're going to upset the employees who's busy, and that should never be the case. So there are three things I've picked up from corporate places that I love that are kind of my favorite sayings. One of them is your uniform's not complete without a name tag and a smile. And it's a very simple, easy one. The other one, I've heard it two ways, 3-6-10 or 3-6-12 rule. I've heard it both ways. And this applies a lot of times to, your Marriott's, Hyatt's, and big hotel chains like that, where any employee who's on the clock should be in uniform. And no matter where they are on the property, they should be able to stop and answer whatever questions anybody has. And it's just that easy. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I can stop and answer a question. So it's just a system to make an employee more approachable. At 12 feet, I'm making eye contact with the guest. At 6 feet, I'm making some sort of physical gesture, nodding my head, I'm waving. At 3 feet, I'm verbally engaging the guest. Hi, folks. I hope you're having a great day. Is there something I can help you find? And if it's a payphones are outdated. It's just how old I am. And if it's a payphone and a cigarette machine, if it's something like the restroom or an ATM, the front desk, where's the pool, where's the gym, where's conference room, Oasis C, you should be able to stop and point that out to any guest or customer that needs your help while you're on the property. The last one is an acronym, CROW, CROW, which stands for customer right of way. The customer always has the right of way. They're always going to go first. I'm going to go after them. It doesn't matter if I'm holding a tray with 1,000 pounds on it and it's so heavy that it's breaking the bones in my arm and the bones are splintering out and I'm bleeding. I still stand there with a smile. I let all the guests go first and then I go after them. The customers always have the right of way. So those are just three, kind of corporate ones that I think are awesome that you can always just keep in mind for when you work, especially on a large property. I'm going to go through some of these other ones I have in this old book here, though. Be friendly. You're supposed to be friendly. There's nothing worse than you come in and, a bartender's got a sourpuss face. They're not going to be pleasant. They're not going to be happy. If they're miserable, I don't know how anybody else in the bar is going to have fun. So, be friendly, be polite. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. If you can get a first name out of someone, I do think that goes a long way. Refer to it as personalizing the visit. Anybody can take my order and bring me what I want, but do I make some sort of personal connection with the guest? Hey, Jim, can I get you another Bud Light? Just sounds better than, hey, sir, can I get you another Bud Light? But be polite. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Be sociable. Have something to talk about when you walk in the door. The image of a bar and it's dark and there's three guys sitting by themselves, kind of crying into their cocktail. That's not a real bar. That place doesn't exist because it's depressing. It would go out of business real fast. No one would want to spend money there. The truth is, people go out for the social interaction. And that's what we're paying for. And that's what they're paying the premium for. For the price of one beer at a bar, I can buy a six-pack and take it home. I'm paying for the social interaction. That's what the premium is. That's what I'm paying for. So we do want to make sure that we have something to talk about. Whatever's going on locally is the easiest thing. Sports, weather, is there a football game? Is there a fishing tournament? Is there a boat race? Easiest topic to just keep the conversation moving so that people just keep talking and keep chatting. Be neat and, be clean. And I cannot stress enough in, kind of coming out of the COVID, the 2 years that we've spent with COVID and things starting to kind of revert to normal now, how important it is to clean and sanitize. And very simply, if people do not feel like the place is clean and they do not feel it's clean, then they're not going to feel comfortable. And if they're not comfortable, they're not going to stay there and spend money. So over sanitize, overkill it, do all we can, but we want to make sure that the people are feeling comfortable in our establishment because it is clean and safe. Be efficient. We don't want to make people wait. And when we talk about, the pouring exercises and going glass to glass and hitting different glasses with different amounts, that's really what it's all about. That if I have 3 drinks of vodka in them, even if it's different amounts, I'm touching that vodka bottle one time, I'm hitting them all in one shot. I'm putting it back. I'm not grabbing it more than once. I'm not stopping between the pour. I'm just hitting it straight down the line. So try to be efficient, try to be fast. When you're practicing at home, make sure you're practicing with both hands. If I can make drinks with both hands, I make twice as many drinks, I make twice as much money. That's just as simple as it is. So get comfortable using your offhand. For most people, it's left, but for some people, it's right. Get comfortable using your offhand and being able to use it to do different tasks to become a more efficient bartender. Be alert, and not just alert to maybe they need another drink or they need something to go with their food item over here, but also be alert to, hey, maybe the guy in the blue polo has had enough to drink and needs to be cut off, or maybe there's a scuffle or something going on in the corner over there that might lead to a fight. And a lot of times you can see fights. If you're paying attention, you can see it kind of coming, 5 to 10 minutes before it happens, because it starts small with a little storm cloud and it grows into something larger. It escalates and continues to get bigger. So just be aware of those things. When it goes to cutting someone off, make sure we're telling everybody. We're not keeping it a secret. Guy in the blue polo, girl in a red dress, it's cut off. And we're letting everybody know so that they're not getting a drink from another employee. I kind of changed the verbiage on this one a little. It says collect for each drink. But what we're going to say is secure a form of payment for each drink. People are going to pay with cash. They're going to pay with a credit card. Or in the case of a hotel, they may charge it to their room, which means it's just going on their credit card when they check out. If they're paying cash, boom, that's easy. If you're holding a credit card and holding them a tab open, make sure you're keeping that tab current. Every time they order around, I'm going to put it into the POS, into the computer system, and make sure that I have a current check. When they come to cash out and they're ready to go, they're ready to go. That's also when they're going to decide your tip. If they're now standing there waiting while you go, oh, wait, he had 2 Crown Royals and his girlfriend had 2 Chardonnays. The whole time that person's waiting, your tip is going down. Every time they order around, turn around, put it in the POS system. And what I also do, once I've put every round in, I will print a copy of that person's check and wrap it around their credit card. Now, when that person comes up and asks for their tab, Johnson tab, sure. I grab their credit card. I show them their check. I tell them, let me know if it's okay before I run your card. Because I make mistakes. I want them to look at their check and tell me it's okay before I run their card. Most people just look at the total and tell you it's fine, run it. It's fine, cool. I run their card. I give it to them. I give them a pin. Boom. Now they can sign. They can get out of there. They didn't have to wait. And I have room for someone new to come up, give me their card, start a tab, and start making more money. So have people's tabs ready to go when they're keeping tabs for you. In the case of people staying on property and charging stuff to their room, Just make sure you're being kind of diligent. A lot of people will check into the front desk, ask at the front desk if they can charge stuff to their room. The front desk will tell them yes, and then they will just walk through the hotel grabbing stuff and walking away as if every other employee in the hotel knows what room they're in and knows what room to charge it to. So people will come up to the bar, order a drink, grab it, walk away thinking you just know their room 226, the Johnson tap or the Johnson, room, the name on the name on the room reservation. So it can be kind of difficult. Also, people that are staying in house and charging stuff to their room will sometimes have a little too much to drink in the bar, or a combination of by the pool, in the bar, in their rooms. And when they go to fill out their slip, it's illegible. It's hieroglyphics. And, you need their room number in general and the last name that is associated with the reservation with the hotel. I got to the point where I would write it on there for them. What room are you in? 322. I write 322. What's the last name on the reservation? Smith, spell it. And I don't care if it's Smith, Jones, whatever, spell it for me. I want to get it right. Boom. Then I can just slide it to them. Hey, I just need you to fill it in and sign. And the important part there is fill it in, because that's my tip. Fill it in and sign. Don't say that, but that's my tip. Fill it in and sign. And that way I always had the correct information. Always serve ladies first. Always ladies first. Always ladies first. Check IDs. And remember, as well as protecting the establishment and making sure they don't get in any trouble, you're protecting yourself and you're making sure that you're not getting in any trouble. It is a criminal violation to serve someone underage. And if you do, and that person gets hurt leaving the establishment, you can be brought up on manslaughter charges if someone were to die that you served who was underage leaving the establishment. So make sure you're checking IDs. It is more about protecting yourself than anyone else. Make sure you're protecting yourself. You're not getting in trouble. Carefully count out change. And this happens all the time with people that are drinking because they forget, because that's what alcohol does. So anytime someone gives me a $50 or $100 bill, I am going to count it back to them. Your drinks for $14.50, your change is, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, and count it out for them, give them their change. Always break it down and give them some ones. I don't ever assume anybody's going to give me any certain amount of tip. I give them a bunch of small change so they can tip me all they want. If they push it all back towards me, awesome. I'm just going to pick it up and throw it in the jar. At the end of the night, I'm going to cash all those little bills in, give them back to the bar or restaurant. I'm going to take the hundreds and fifties home. So it doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. So I'm going to give them plenty of change, make sure they got change to tip with. The other thing I'll say on that, and especially for folks that maybe have no or little experience handling money, there's a really easy trick to make sure that you're giving people the right change. We call the computer system the cash register POS, which stands for point of sale. That is a fancy term for a touch screen and a cash drawer. If you can work an iPad, you can work one. It's very similar. It's not too difficult. It's pretty easy to do. Most of them are set up pretty much the same. Right above the cash drawer on all of them is a little ledge. So the cash drawer opens, there's a little ledge here. The trick is to take the bill that the customer gave you and set it on the little ledge. Count the change for the bill out first. Make sure it's correct. Okay, I'm giving them change for a 50. That is a 50. I make sure the change is correct, and then I put the bill in. What happens is if you put the bill in first and then go to make change, sometimes you forget what bill you're stuck in there. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in a hurry, stuck the bill in, went to make change for the person, and just thought, was that a 10 or a 20? And I had no idea. Not one way or the other, because I was moving so fast. So especially people that are starting out, don't have a lot of experience, do it with every bill. One of the bartenders, Jeff, that I worked with here, who 20 plus years, experience, still did it with every bill, every time, every transaction, because he wanted to make sure he was right. And it only takes a couple seconds, really didn't slow him down any. So leave it on the ledge, make change first, double check I'm making change for the correct bill that the person gave me, then put the bill in, give the person their change, you'll be good to go. Keep a good posture. Don't do like I do here, leaning on stuff and back against the wall a lot of times. The other thing is to, be doing something. be polishing glasses, be wiping down the bar, be refilling the caddies, be wiping the bottles down. It just looks good when a bartender's doing something, when a bartender's moving. And it is something tangible. It is something that I read a study on probably about 15 years ago now, of people came into a bar. There are two bartenders. One is standing at attention, ready to go, smiling. One is polishing a glass. And more than 70% of the people that walked in went to the one that was polishing the glass because they were doing something. Always be doing something behind the bar. Don't just be standing there talking or standing there watching television. And see, it attracts business. It'll attract people to the bar. You will make more money. It has never failed me yet. Don't become involved in anything controversial. Two big taboo subjects, politics and religion. Said this before, fights happen over girls, wars happen over politics and religion. And that's kind of the way it works. Third one is pressing social issues. It's another thing we really don't want to talk about. Along those lines, only two things ever on the television: sports and weather. Never the news. CNN is just depressing to watch, and it's not any fun. And it's not always so much that people will get into arguments or people get into fights over stuff. So other people just don't want to hear it. The bar is my escape. That's where I'm going to get away from real life. I don't want to hear about COVID. I don't want to hear about Catholic priests. I don't want to hear about the election. I don't want to hear about anything like that. I want to get away, put my song on the jukebox, put my game on the TV. I'm going to grab my cocktail. I'm going to shoot some darts. I'm going to play some pool, something like that. So it's just not a good topic of conversation. If it comes up, number one, we have no opinion. No matter what our real opinion is, we have no opinion. And the trick is just to steer it to a different topic of conversation. And most people get the hint, and you can steer them away. If someone really just doesn't get the hint, you might have to tell them, look, no one wants to talk about that. Let's talk about something else. Well, we're staying to talk about something else, but we're not talking about that here because no one wants to have that conversation. All right, this one's the biggest do as I say, not as I do. Don't argue with anybody. Even if you're right, you don't win. That's what sucks about it. If someone's just really that belligerent and just that obnoxious, that hard to deal with, remove yourself from the situation. Simply step back. Sir, ma'am, you know what? I'm going to go get a manager. I think that they could assist you better, and walk away. Take yourself out of it. Don't get upset. Don't start to get angry. Don't, raise this, exacerbate the situation and make it worse. Simply remove yourself. Sir, ma'am, I think a manager can help you better. Give me one moment. I'm going to go get one for you, and walk away and remove yourself. Don't drink on the job. Number one, it's not fun. I worked at one place where I was told it was in my job description to be drinking with the customers and having a good time. And it ended up being a nightmare and not the fun, tremendous, great experience that I thought it would be. It is not fun to be trying to have a cocktail with a bunch of drunk people on all sides of you, screaming orders at you while you're sweating and trying to work. It's really no more point of enjoyment at all. So don't do that. Don't allow anyone to buy you a drink. And I think a lot of times people try to do that because they think they're going to get a free drink back or something like that by giving the bartender a drink. They really won't have to pay for it. I always say the same thing. I'm working, but if you give me the money, I'll go get that drink later. No one's actually given me the money ever, but I can't say that customers have never bought me a drink. I have gotten off day shifts where I was allowed to stay at the bar I worked at and drink. Some people have policies. Employees are not allowed to drink in the bar in their off time. This is a place where, our owner encouraged us to hang out with the locals and the regulars. So yes, many times getting off on a 4:30 or 5 on a day shift, I've had people buy me drinks. It's too many. Sometimes to where I had to be taxied home, but but yeah, it can happen. Just make sure it's appropriate time. Hey, yeah, when I get off, but not right now. I can't do that right now. Get some soda. And the other thing is, don't give drinks away. It is not our liquor to give away. That is stealing. You are stealing from the establishment. I have worked in 2 scenarios where I was allowed to comp a certain amount. Biggest thing on that, it wasn't given away. All the drinks I comped were rung into the POS, into the computer system, or comped off using my number or manager number that could be tracked. So the next day, and the owners or managers, because it had more than one place, they could come in, they could look at my paperwork from the night before, and it showed exactly what I had comped. So it wasn't given away. It was comped. It was rung into a computer system. It was accounted for. If you are given that privilege, don't abuse it. It is very nice to have when you have a good, some good customers and they go to pay their check and you can go, hey, I got that last round for you. And then they give you a really big tip. They have a great time. Maybe they come back again. It's nice to have that opportunity to do it. It's not for you. It's not for your friends. It's not for your family. It's for the people that are paying the bills, the people that are spending money there. So if you have it and you're fortunate enough to have that, just please don't abuse it. Use it. It's a nice thing to have. Don't play favorites. And along the same lines, don't prejudge people. I have gotten bigger tips from people that looked like they were homeless than I have from guys wearing $300 Tommy Bahama shirts. So everybody comes in, spends the same money. Everybody should get the same experience. Don't play favorites. Don't prejudge anybody. Don't loan money. I don't care if it's Joe who's there 7 days a week for 25 years. I am not there to pick up his bar tab. My money is to take home with me to pay my bills. This boat captain in Destin, Florida still owes me $34.50. Not that I'm bitter about it, but he told me he was going to the ATM and get it and never returned. So I'm a little bit over about that. Basically, I paid $34.50 to get rid of him because I never had to deal with him again, which is fine. But I'm not there to pick up your tab. And occasionally you'll get that from someone. Well, I come in and pay it tomorrow. Well, I got bills to pay tonight. And I'm not to take money out of my pocket to cover your drink. You don't have any money? You don't go to the bar. That's the way it works. So, don't loan money to anyone. These two go hand in hand because bars and restaurants can turn into high school very, very quickly. And bartenders hear everything and know all about everybody and everything that's going on. So don't gossip. Don't be nosy. We do not push for more information. We do not repeat anything we hear. Listen, giggle it in your own mind under your breath. But if you're doing your job correctly, people will have very candid conversations right in front of you. Don't push for more information. Don't repeat anything. Don't gamble. And here's the deal. A patron can bet another patron anything up to $10,000 by law is considered a friendly bet. An employee can bet another employee anything up to $10,000 by law is considered a friendly bet. An employee cannot bet a patron. That is considered solicitation of gambling. It is against law if you do not have a gaming license. I have seen a bar get shut down in Florida for having an illegal Super Bowl football pool where they were selling squares. And I had actually just moved there, found the closest bar to the house I rented. So this is going to be my regulars bar. It was pretty packed. They had a big pool room, a lot of people shooting pool. A couple of the guys looked like regulars. They were drinking beers. These particular guys asked me if I wanted to go in with them on a Super Bowl square. I said, no, I'm just here to have beer. Oh, sorry, Train. I said, no, I don't gamble. I don't want to go on a square. I'm just here to have beer. Didn't think much of it. Second time I was in the establishment, I had paid for my drink. I sat at the bar and the same three guys kicked the door open, except this time they were wearing a bulletproof vest that said sheriff. They had their guns out and they say, pay your tab and pay your tabs and get the F out. Which at first, for some reason, I thought they were joking because I'd just seen them there a couple of days earlier hanging out. One of them got right in my face. They were pretty serious. So didn't even touch my drink, got up, left. I just think it's funny that my first two visits to the bar happened to be while the sting operation was happening. And I happened to be right dead in the middle of a sting operation that I did not know. But my second visit, I got to witness the warrant from the sting operation being carried out and the bar being shut down. And the bar was sold to somebody else and reopened under the Steamboat, which I believe it still is today. So no gambling. The other thing is some people try to have a friendly card game or friendly dice game. And it's all friendly till 4 or 5 drinks and somebody loses a lot of money and then it's not friendly. So if you're not a casino, if you're not a place that has gaming, people shouldn't be gambling. No rowdiness. Guys will sometimes push and shove. We always put Timmy in a headlock. Yeah, until Timmy decides today is the day he doesn't want to be put in headlocks anymore. And you have an issue. So bar's not the place for it because inevitably they're going to knock over someone else's table, someone else's drink, upset somebody else having a good time. Take it outside. Bar is not the place for that. Don't overserve anyone. The nomenclature, I believe, is you cannot serve anyone that's obviously visibly intoxicated. How do we know if they're obviously visibly intoxicated? They start complaining they can't take liquor in their drinks. And because we practice, we know we're hitting the right amount every time. Your tongue kind of gets pickled and you don't taste the alcohol. Along the same lines, your tongue swells up, so you slur your speech. Drunks will also get loud. Volume control of their voice can be an issue. Loss of balance. And my favorite, trying to make friends with people that don't want to make friends with them. When they're just upsetting other patrons and annoying other folks, that's probably the time to cut them off. Remember, just like serving someone underage, serving someone that's obviously visibly intoxicated is against the law, is a criminal offense. If you continue to serve that person, they leave your bar and hurt someone or themselves. So make sure we're cutting people off. Most people take it very well. Get a manager, let a manager have your back. But most people will take it very well because they don't want to embarrass themselves or embarrass the people that they're with. So don't be afraid to cut anybody off. Don't give customers a hard time unless you work at a place called Dick's Last Resort. And if you work at Dick's Last Resort, that is in your job description to be rude to the customers, then you can do it. If you're not familiar with them, look it up. They're very popular. Otherwise, don't give anybody a hard time. If you can't smoke, you can't smoke behind the bar. It is a health code violation. You must go outside to a designated area, wash your hands before returning to the bar, and get a breath mint. Not gum, because we don't chew gum because it looks like we're eating. You cannot eat behind the bar. That is also a health code violation. If you work at a place where people can smoke, I live in California, you can't smoke outside, actually, in the town I live in. That's not a joke. You're not allowed to smoke outside. If you work in a place where you can smoke, have a lighter. Whether it's man or woman, the second someone pulls out a cigarette, light them for them. It's a very cool, old school, classy thing to do that, me and my buddy are talking to two girls and I think I'm making progress and I pull out a cigarette because I wanted to ease my anxiety and I don't have to look for a lighter or ask you for matches. You just light it and I keep talking. Golden. People will love you. Keep it on you. Don't give it to anyone. Keep it on your person. If you don't know, there's a game, whoever dies with the most lighters wins. So people will steal them. So always keep it on you, light it for them, stick it back in your pocket. If you have to cough, the latest way is full shoulder over your face. Even if you're wearing a mask, cough in my shoulder, I take it away. Know what's going on in your town, in your area. And once again, that's some of the easiest things to talk about. Is there a sporting event? Is there, a race? Is there a festival, music, food, otherwise, car show, anything? Any of these are great topics to talk about at the bar. The other thing is a lot of people from out of town will get information from bartenders. Where's a good place to eat around here? What's fun to do here? What do you do? What do you like? You get a lot of that from a lot of people. So have some ideas about your town, have some things that you tell people, generally, because those questions are going to come up. Don't try to solve anyone's problems. It doesn't matter if it seems like there is a clear answer, clear solution that'll solve all of this person's problems. We don't give people any advice. We don't give them any course of action. We listen, we sympathize, we empathize, but we never give them a course of action. It will come back to bite you in the butt. Leave that to their therapist, leave that to their psychiatrist, let their doctors try to lock down that proper pill combo. But we're just going to listen because that's all people really want from the bartender anyway. They just want an ear. They just want something to listen to. Keep doing your job, cleaning, listen, nod your head, but don't give any advice. And when at all possible, don't make people wait. This is one of my huge, big pet peeves because I've seen it too many times. Nothing will be happening in a restaurant, so two servers will be having a conversation. Some people walk into the door, stop at the hostess stand, and they continue to have a conversation. And that's not the way it should work. The second they come in, they get to the hostess stand. The second they come in the door, your conversation is over because now you have to do your job. There are people there, and we expect you to do your job. So second, people come in, personal conversations are over, and, people come in and stand there and wait. They'll keep chatting. One of them will walk halfway, turn back, chat a little. All you're saying to those people is that my conversation is more important than your business and your lunch or your dinner, whatever you're here for. It used to happen at a country club I worked at here a lot, and it was a private club. The members were owners, which made it double bad because I would see the look on their face as they stood there watching two or three servers talk like, hey, We're hungry for lunch. We pay a lot of money to be members here. We'd like to eat some food. So don't make customers wait. So that's our kind of, behind the bar do's and don'ts there. So it is summertime. Hope everybody made it through 4th of July weekend. Had a lot of fun. I did not do anything. My knee is now made of titanium and plastic, which is awesome, just like my other one. And the best part is I don't have any more knees, so I don't ever have to go through this again. So I just want to talk about a couple different ideas for some summer, some light, refreshing cocktails while we're still here, in the middle of summer and in the middle of that summer season. So first one I want to go for here, go ahead and grab a mixing tin and a glass here. This is kind of a little take. I think it actually might have predated the Negroni, and the Negroni is a little bit of a take on this one here, which is called the Americano. So I've got my handy dandy mixing tin. I'll throw about 2/3 ice in there, not too much. I want to make sure that I can go ahead and lock my glass in place there and give it a nice good shake. And to make our Americano here, what we're going to start with is a jigger. And I'm going to do an ounce of Campari. So this is all just colored water here. I don't want to waste any alcohol doing this because I don't have people here to drink it. So I've got some red liquid here that resembles some Campari. So we're going to do an ounce of that in my jigger, throw it in there. Then we're going to do an ounce of sweet vermouth, this here, in there like that. And pop our pint glass in, give it a nice shake. Get that nice and mixed up there. All right. Grab my bucket glass. Get some fresh ice in there. Give this a nice strain over some fresh ice. Vermouth and my Campari. We'll shake a little more of these out. Whoop. And we're going to top it off with some club soda. And there you go. We have our Americano. We will finish this with a nice orange twist here. Pull off the side here. And once again, we're going to take the outside of the peel, go all the way around the rim. Just give it a nice little squeeze over the top. See little spritz come out there. Always 2 straws when we're using these small straws. We have our Americano. Nice, light, classic cocktail. Perfect for summer, ready to go right there. So let's throw this one off to the side. That was just intent, because it is just such a great summer cocktail on, what's this stuff out? On just doing a regular sex on the beach, because it's really easy to do. I know that it's done, it's done wrong a lot of times. One of the places I worked at in Florida, which is actually a nightclub and bar magazine, Editor's Choice Top 100 Grossing Bar every year. As a test one day, I sent my bar back around the whole bar, 10 bartenders work at once, and asked him to ask how everybody made sex on the beach. He went and asked 7 different bartenders. He came back with 7 different answers. So I'm going to do it just a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and do a sex on the beach martini style. So I don't have this glass in a cooler or freezer, so I'm going to throw a little ice in there to let it chill. Grab my handy dandy mixing tin. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to grab my glass here. I'm going to get my glass here. Throw a little ice off there. So to make our sex on the beach, we're going to do vodka. Now, usually we would do 1.5 ounces, and the International Bartenders Association does say 1.5 ounces vodka, 1/2 ounce peach schnapps, half triple sec, half triple sec, half cranberry. But I'm only going to do 1 ounce here. So I'm going to make it kind of light. This would be something I'd serve to people in the daytime, by the beach, something like that, by the pool. So I'm trying to make it a little weak so people can have a lot of them, not get too drunk. I'm going to do 1/2 ounce of clear liquid here. That would be our peach schnapps. So we'd have our peach schnapps in there as well as our vodka. Then we just need orange juice and cranberry. So I'm going to do 3/4 of OJ. I'm going to do 3/4 of cranberry. Take my spoon, give it a nice stir. Get that nice stirred up. It's not too strong, but I'm not watering it down too much because I'm not shaping it. Just giving it that nice stir to get it mixed. Bring it down to 32 degrees without crushing up the ice in there. I can take it right there out of my pint glass. Have a nice, beautiful Sex on the Beach martini. Yes. And we'll give this a nice little, give this a little orange garnish here. This is a great kind of cut that you can do by doing some little diagonals here in this orange. I can give this kind of, make this into quarter wheels or quarter moons that look really great on the side like this. Because a half of a piece of orange is kind of big and a lot, I like these quarter pieces. I think they go a lot better with our Sex on the Beach martini. Excellent, excellent, perfect, perfect drink for some time.